Alright, so award season is finally here because it is almost time for this year's Oscars, and this morning we got the nominations in for this year's Oscars, and let me tell you, with the nominations that are in for this year's Academy Awards, it's insane, especially with the ones people were predicting to be nominated for, even with the ones that were well deserved, even with the films that I enjoyed from last year that also being nominated as well. And that's the video for you guys in this video, is breaking down each category and with the films and actors, actresses, and directors, and so much more that were nominated for that specific category, and who I think will win this year's Oscars as well. And so this should be a very fun time this year. And so if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. So let's just hop into it. And now the first thing that was announced during the nominations is that the nominations for Best Supporting Actor, and here they are, and they are Ryan Gosling, Barbie; Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer; Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon; Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction; and Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. And even like based on these nominations, and I think Robert Downey Jr. is definitely gonna win because we used to see him as an actor, especially we know him since Iron Man in the MCU, and he won like a Golden Globe, and like we used to see him do that. I think like RDJ definitely has a chance of winning because he put on the best performance in Oppenheimer, and I think he deserves it. And even the nominations even for Ryan Gosling and Robert De Niro, I think that they have a chance. And plus, I like Ryan Gosling in the role as Ken, but I think with RDJ, it definitely has a chance of winning. And now the next category to go over is the nominations for Best Costume Design, and they are Barbie, Poor Things, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, and Oppenheimer. And now, even with these categories, and I think with these nominations, I think Oppenheimer is definitely gonna take it, but I think Barbie for sure, because even with all of the costumes, especially in Barbie with that Dance the Night dance sequence, I think it was amazing. And even like with the costumes that like Barbie and Ken wore in the Barbie movie, I think it definitely has a chance. But even with Napoleon, and especially with Killers of the Flower Moon, I think that it did it best. But even though, but I think Oppenheimer is definitely gonna take it. And now the next category to go over is Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and the nominations are Poor Things, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Golda, and Society of the Snow. The thing like with this list, I'm thinking that Oppenheimer is definitely going to take it because even like as we've seen from the Golden Globes, Oppenheimer took home all of the awards, and Oppenheimer definitely has a shot here because I think like the movie looked incredible from the way that Nolan adapted its entire piece of work, and even with Maestro, like, and plus I love the Bradley Cooper in that role, and have like aged so much in that film. It was definitely interesting, and I think Poor Things, I think it has a shot, but even with Oppenheimer, I think that definitely has a chance. I think only one of them can win. And now the next category to go over is Best Writing in an Adapted Screenplay, and those are Barbie, Oppenheimer, American Fiction, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. And now I'm thinking with this, especially with the first two of Barbie and Oppenheimer, I think Oppenheimer is definitely gonna win this debate because Oppenheimer has such good writing, and it was one of the best films that I've seen in summer of 2023. But I think Barbie still has a shot because the writing in there was incredible. Plus, it sends a very important messages, and that film, it has a shot. But and even for the amount of times I see Oppenheimer in this video, because I mean I think that movie definitely has a shot. It's because Oppenheimer is definitely going to take home all the awards this year. But I think only one of them can win. But besides with Barbie and Oppenheimer. And now the next category to go over is Best Actress in a Supporting Role, and that is Davine Joy Randolph from The Holdovers, Emily Blunt from Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks in The Color Purple, Jodie Foster in A Night, and American Ferrera Barbie. Especially with all these nominations, I think like Davina Joy Randolph is definitely gonna win because even with The Holdovers, which I pretty much enjoyed, and even I think that this is Emily Blunt's first Oscar, I'm pretty sure like she will win, but it's not like a most likely. But I think Emily Blunt is sort of gonna win, and even though what others, and even with America Ferrera, who has an Oscar nomination for Barbie, I mean, like she was amazing in it, and Barbie was the best movie that I've seen. It was a very good movie, but I think out of all the nominations, I think Davina and Joy Randolph definitely has a shot. And now the next category to go over is Best Original Score, and the nominees are Oppenheimer, American Fiction, The Killers of the Flower Moon, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and Poor Things. And now, judging based on this list, Oppenheimer is definitely gonna win for sure, because that was one of the best films I've ever seen from Christopher Nolan, and with the effect that the film has on it, especially as I love the score, and plus I think I rewatched it recently, and the score looked incredible, and Killers of the Flower Moon, which definitely has a good score as well. But if it's my easiest choice, I mean, I'm betting on Oppenheimer is definitely gonna take home all of it. And now the next category to go over is Best Music and Original Song, and the nominees are What Was I Made For, Barbie, I'm Just Kim, by Ryan Gosling, The Fire Inside by Flamin' Hot, It Never Went Away by American Symphony, and a song for my people, Killers of the Flower Moon. And I think based on this list, I think What Was I Made For, that was performed by Billie Eilish, and that song was incredible. It definitely spreads that message. And even with I'm Just Ken, that was performed by Ryan Gosling, and even though it's an Oscar nominated song, I mean, I definitely enjoyed the heck out of it, and I think people did enjoy it as well. But I think What Was I Made For is definitely going to get that Oscar, and I think it was an incredible song. But I think What Was I Made For definitely deserves a shot at this. And now the next category to go over is the nominations for Best Animated Feature Film, and the nominees are Pneumonia, Elemental, The Boy and the Heron, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Based on this list, I'm betting on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, because I thought that was one of the best Spider-Man animated films that I've seen. It has some of the best work, and it's one of the best comic book Spider-Man animated films that I've ever seen. But even with Elemental, which I found to be a fine Pixar movie, it's not like the greatest one, even though it was a cute little rom-com with like a Pixar elements thrown into it. But Across the Spider-Verse definitely deserves it, because it has some of the best performances, and especially with the songs and the score, I think it definitely belongs to Across the Spider-Verse. And now, next up is the nominations for Best Production Design, and the nominees are Barbie, Poor Things, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Napoleon. And now, right off the bat, I'm guessing like I think this could probably be a win for Barbie, because if you look at the production, the design for that movie, it was insane, especially creating a Barbie land, and like, you know, a Barbie world and everything else. And even Killers of the Flower Moon, which I really enjoyed, and its production design was like so sick, and especially with Oppenheimer, like I really enjoyed it, even with the way that it's designed, a biopic about the atomic bomb, and that movie was insane. I think Barbie definitely has a shot. And now the next one to go over is the nominations for Best Visual Effects, and the nominees are The Creator, Godzilla -1, Society of the Snow, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and Guardians Volume 3. And now I think with this, Godzilla -1 definitely has a shot. I think it deserves it, because even if we look at this film, it was one of the best Godzilla films I've ever seen, and plus it was made on a super low budget of $15 million, and has some of the best VFX that I've ever seen out of all the like other films. I think Godzilla -1 has a shot, but even Guardians Volume 3, which is the perfect conclusion to the Guardians trilogy, I think it has some of the VFX, and even with The Creator, which it was underrated, but its VFX were good, but I think this definitely goes to Godzilla -1. And now with the next one to go over is nominations for Best Actor, and the nominees are Cillian Murphy, Paul Giamatti, Bradley Cooper, Colvin Domingo, and Jeffrey Wright. Right off the bat, I think this definitely goes to I think Cillian Murphy, because he already got the award from the Golden Globes, and this definitely has a shot, and he gave one of the greatest performances, mainly out of his entire career in Oppenheimer, but even with Paul Giamatti in the Holdovers, which I definitely enjoyed. I think is one of his best performances, and that I let him got him like a Best Actor, especially at the Golden Globes, and even I think. Out of all these actors, I think Cillian Murphy definitely has a shot at this, but we'll wait and see. And on top of that, with one of the flaws that I have with this category is even for Best Actor, and I think with both Zac Efron and Leonardo DiCaprio were both robbed, especially within this category alone. And even with Zac Efron, who I thought put on the best performance of his entire career in The Iron Claw, he put on the best performance. And even with Leonardo DiCaprio, I think he definitely deserved it, but even though we'll have to wait and see. The next one is the nominees for Best Actress, and those are Emma Stone, Carey Mulligan, Lily Gladstone, Annette Bening, and Sandra Hüller. And now I think we all guess that based on the bat, Lily Gladstone definitely has a shot because she's like the first Native American to get an Oscar nomination. And plus, like she already won the award for Best Actress in Killers of the Flower Moon, and that was a masterpiece. And this was definitely one of her best performances. And I think right at the bat, she definitely deserves an Oscar. And now, next one up is the nominations for Best Director, and that is Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, Logos Lanthimos, Jonathan Glazer, and Justine Triet. And now, I think we can probably guess that like Christopher Nolan is definitely gonna take home this Oscar because Oppenheimer was definitely one of the best films I've seen, especially in IMAX, and the visual effects and the story and everything was insane. And Nolan has a shot, but even with Martin Scorsese with Killers of the Flower Moon, which was, I think it was a good film. I thought it was a masterpiece, but I think Nolan has a shot at this because Oppenheimer took home all the awards, and it definitely has a shot this year at the Oscars. And lastly, with the nominations of Best Picture, and will all the nominees include Barbie, Maestro, Past Lives, Poor Things, Oppenheimer, The Holdovers, American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, The Zone of Interest, and Killers of the Flower Moon. And now, especially with these nominees, and I think Oppenheimer is definitely going to take home the awards. Barbie, it definitely has a shot, and even Killers of the Flower Moon, I think it does have like a medium shot, especially as it's coming from Scorsese, who is like the one of the best directors of all time. But even with Oppenheimer, is definitely going to take home the nominations for Best Picture. And I'm just really hoping that it wins. And so there we have it. These are the nominations that are in for this year's Oscars. And even with all these nominations that people were predicting for, and even with the ones that you thought were gonna make it, I'm sorry if it didn't. And even with all these nominations, I hope only one of them can win. And even with this year's Oscars that are on Sunday, March 10th, and I just really hope that one of the wins, and we all celebrate together as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this year's Academy Awards. And so that's going to be it for this video. Just let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and what your thoughts on these nominations, and who would you like to see win at this year's 2024 Oscars, and let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications about future videos. Also follow my social media links down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.